This tip's about how and when to use the trial close. If you've seen Glengarry Glen Ross, you'll always be closing. You don't have to be hardcore about this, but you do need to pay attention to closing, because closing isn't just a natural progression of what happens at the end of a sales process. Closing, you actually have to ask for the business. It doesn't just happen. So we need to kind of set the stage by doing a lot of little closes throughout the process to kind of gauge where we are. And the trial close is probably the best way to do that. Trial close is simple. It's not a hardcore, are you going to sign the contract now? It's basically an if-when situation. So as an example, if you do a demo for somebody, or you do a trial, let's use a trial. If you do a trial for somebody and you get the criteria beforehand about what the success criteria are, at the end, and before that goes, okay, great, you're dealing with hopefully a champion of yours or somebody who could be a champion of yours, and you say to them, great, if this trial goes well and hits all the marks that we talked about as far as your priorities are concerned, will you recommend us? Will you be my champion? That's a trial close. Right? You're effectively saying, hey, if we do everything right, you're gonna push us, and you're gonna close, you're gonna be our champion here. Yes, no, I don't know, whatever. Okay, now you kind of get a sense of where you stand. I mean, somebody's like, yeah, absolutely. If it hits everything we're talking about, then man, I'm going to push this thing hard. Well, great. Now you do everything you can. But if you get kind of a, well, we'll see, you got to kind of take a step back, readjust your strategy or whatever. Same thing with, if I can give you that discount, will you close? I don't know if I can get you that extra discount, but if I do, will you close? Now that's a trial close that's going to set up your close. So you come back with that discount. Again, we don't recommend discounting, but if you have to use it, make sure that you get a closed signed contract. Because if they're like, well, who knows, if you can get us that discount, at least you're in the running, but I can't guarantee we're gonna sign the contract. Again, you got to just get a sense of where you are. So use trial closes early and often. Close for almost anything in the sales process. Close for the decision-making process. Close for the timeline. These are all things that we can close for throughout the process to gauge where we stand with the prospect or with the client. All right, so use trial closes early and often to get an understanding where you stand. Good luck and happy selling.